Looking back now, all the signs were there, but I was blinded by love and a desperate desire to believe in the fairy tale. Marquise and I met 10 years ago, and I thought we'd found our happily ever after. We married young, and I was swept off my feet by his charm and good looks. He was a rising star in Washington, D.C.'s political scene, and I was his supportive wife, cheering him on every step of the way. I relocated across the country for his job, leaving behind my family and friends. I thought it was a small price to pay for a life together. At first, everything seemed perfect. He was charismatic, confident, and made me feel like I was the only woman in the world. But as time went on, I started to notice little things. He would disappear emotionally whenever I needed support. I would try to talk to him about my day, and he'd just listen, his eyes glazing over like he was 1,000 miles away. I would feel like I was walking on eggshells, never knowing when he'd snap out of it and be present again. I brushed it off as stress from work, told myself he was just preoccupied with his career. But deep down, I knew something was off. My mother warned me about him from day one, said he had a way of making people feel like they were crazy. I did not listen. I thought she was just being protective, that she did not understand him like I did. As the months went by, things started to unravel. He began hanging out with a new coworker, a woman named Sophia. He'd come home late at night, smelling like expensive perfume, and I would ask him who it was, and he'd just laugh it off, tell me I was being paranoid. He started comparing me unfavorably to other women, making snide comments about my appearance, my career. I would try to talk to him about it, and he'd gaslight me, make me doubt my own perceptions. He became secretive about his finances, wouldn't let me see his bank statements or discuss our joint accounts. I would ask him questions and he'd get defensive, tell me I was being controlling. I started to feel like I was losing myself in the relationship, like I was just a prop to him, a trophy wife. But I loved him. I wanted to believe that he loved me too. So I ignored the red flags, convinced myself that I was just being sensitive. It was not until he suddenly wanted to sleep in separate rooms that I started to investigate. He said he was stressed, needed some space, but something did not feel right. That's when I discovered the second phone, hidden in his car. My heart sank as I picked it up, my mind racing with worst-case scenarios. I started scrolling through his messages, and my world came crashing down. He'd been stealing my jewelry, selling it to give to other women. For 3 months he'd been lying to me, sneaking around behind my back. I felt like I would been punched in the gut, like I could not breathe. And then I saw the pictures. Him with Sophia, him with another woman, wearing the engagement ring he'd given me. Identical to mine. I felt a wave of nausea wash over me as I realized the truth. He'd been using me, using my jewelry, using my love against me. I did not know what to do. Part of me wanted to confront him, to scream at him, to make him understand the pain he'd caused me. Another part of me just wanted to crawl into a hole and hide. But I knew I could not ignore it. I had to face him, had to face the truth. I took a deep breath, steeled myself for the confrontation. "Marquis," I said, my voice shaking. "We need to talk." He looked up from his phone, a smug expression on his face. "What's wrong?" he asked, like he did not have a clue. I held up the phone, my heart racing. "I know what you've been doing," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. "I know about the other women, the jewelry, the lies." He looked taken aback, but then his expression hardened. "You're just being paranoid again," he said, his voice dripping with condescension. "You're just jealous of my success." I felt a surge of anger, but I kept my cool. "I am not paranoid," I said, my voice firm. "I am not jealous. I am your wife, and I deserve the truth." He sighed, like he was bored. "Fine," he said. "If you want to know the truth, I'll tell you. I did it. I had an affair. But it is not a big deal. It doesn't mean anything." I felt like I would have been punched again, like I was reeling from the pain. But I refused to back down. "It means everything," I said, my voice rising. "It means you lied to me, you used me, you threw away our marriage for your own selfish desires." He shrugged, like he did not care. "I'm sorry," he said, but it was a hollow apology. I looked at him, really looked at him, and I saw him for who he was. A man who was capable of hurting me, of lying to me, of using me. And I knew I deserved better. "I want a divorce," I said, my voice firm. He looked taken aback, like he hadn't expected me to stand up for myself. But I did. I stood up for myself, for my dignity, for my worth. As I walked away from him, I felt a sense of liberation wash over me. I was free, free from the toxic relationship, free from the lies and the pain. I was free to start again, to rediscover myself, to find my own happiness. And as I looked back, I realized that I would been blinded by love, but I would also been strengthened by the pain. I would learned to stand up for myself, to fight for my own worth. And I knew that no matter what came next, I would be okay.